Good evening, dear friends. This is Wounded Animal. And I'd like to begin our time together by telling you the story of a foreigner. A traveler from a distant world who was tragically ill-suited and unprepared for the vices of this oddball planet on which we live. Ever since I crashed, landed on this rock candy, I've been overloading ever since I didn't have before I landed here. No one knows my name, or if they do, they can't pronounce it. C's and X's tangled up between these gleaming teeth, carving into meat and cheese and silky grease, coating large intestines they were never meant to see. Salt and alcohol, the only comforts that I can recall. This land of plenty sparked a hunger from which I'll never be free. Sugar, salt, and alcohol, insulation from this foreign world, tucking tight beneath my blubber blanket, and I let my tongue unfurl. Vodka soda made of cherry cola and a liquor made to taste like cupcakes. I had no idea the ingenuity that comes of gluttony. My planet's protein packs can't hold a candle. The almond sweetness is cyanide, and there's no antidote for a filthy palate. Salt and alcohol, the only comforts that I can recall. In retrospect, it was a big mistake to eat my weight in cake. Sugar, salt, and alcohol, insulation from this foreign world, tucking tight beneath my blubber blanket, and I let my tongue unfurl. Jaws open wide, begging for a treat. Vicious in the sense of vice is refusing to retreat. I'm hungry, hankering for something sweet. I'm hungry, all I know how to do down here is eat. Raging through the dumpster, craving any scrap of morsel that might satiate me or inebriate my base desires, stoked a roaring fire that consumes as I increase. My ancestors always advised, those creatures on Earth will eat you alive. They're killing me, true, but it's not by design. Sugar, salt, and alcohol, the only comforts that I can recall. What irony to think these puny creatures would have eaten me. Sugar, salt, and alcohol, insulation from this foreign world, tucking tight beneath my blubber blanket, and I let my tongue unfurl. I know I'll never leave this world. Thank you. Now that we are trapped on this oddball planet, I'd like to talk to you about cryptids. Now, when people talk about cryptids, you always hear about the same cast of characters. There's Bigfoot, there's Batboy, there's Mothman, and these are the cryptids that do not know how to keep to themselves. Sasquatch is a show-off. And I'd like to introduce you to one of the lesser-known and more elusive cryptids, coming from those hills out in Pennsylvania where I grew up. And this creature is called the Side Hill Gouger. Now, the Side Hill Gouger is a creature with one short leg and one long leg, and that allows it to stand on the steep mountainside. But it can't leave that mountain because on the flat land, it just falls over. Unless it can find another Side Hill Gouger with the opposite short leg so that they can lean on each other and stagger out across the plains.
They say romance isn't dead.
Heavy-handed on the left side, a little flimsy on the right. Got both thumbs on these paws, but they work alright. Got one foot that's good for digging, the other foot ain't good for jack. But this crooked body suits me, ain't no ground round here flat. Born here on the hillside like my parents have preceded me. I walked the circle set out by my distinguished ancestry. I never thought another hill could hold any appeal, so I put one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. But I'm still standing on the same damn hill. Met a female down the creek side, a real impressive specimen. Must have been love in the water, cause I fell right in. A maiden's meant to be a matchup, so I couldn't help but check. Her stronger leg was on the right side and the weak one on the left. The elders always taught me that we can't abide the opposite, but when I look in her eyes, I think that's half the thrill of it. We meet at midnight on a trail that winds around both sides, dancing one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. We'll make a harbor in this here hill. Hear the rattling of a chainsaw, hoot and holler from the man. I ain't never had a foe before, but they don't sound like friends. I call upon my brawny lady with her righteous muscle thigh. If I can measure with my partner, we might make it out alive. I put my arms around her, then I pushed against her abdomen. We stood up, then fell down, then pushed on to stand back up again. We learned to walk so clumsily, but then we got the hang of putting one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. And we ain't never going back to them goddamn hills. Now, you may have noticed at this point that I've got a fixation on storytelling. And so I'm going to tell you another tale. This one's a little bit different. Now, I maintain that every story that I tell to you is true. But the annals of human history often disagree with me. I take issue with that. As far as I can tell, humans are confused all the time. And so I don't really trust humans to tell the difference between fact and fiction. But if you were to look up the Sidehill Gouger on Wikipedia, it would tell you, oh, that's not real. Who are they to say? But this next story shows up in the history books. In October of 1776, a 17-year-old named Jemima Wilkinson slipped into a coma, and upon waking, announced that Jemima had died. And instead, in that body, now lived a timeless, universal, genderless being of pure light. And that being should be known as the public universal friend. Hey! I'm not myself, and I won't try to be that self, and I'll tell you why. The angels made me over in their own image. I should be a being of purity and light made by celestial decree. Jemima was, then she was not, and in her place, see what divinity has wrought. Don't use the name she carried, don't use the pronouns he or she. The prophet Isaiah said, use only thou to speak to me. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. I see the sneers, and I hear the laughs, but I don't care. Or to be accurate, I can't, my soul is too expansive for common human miseries. You know these mortal sins pose no threat to cosmic beings like me. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. The word I preach is meant for all, for any ears that hear the holy blessed call. The days of revelations are near to hand, and so we must live as the Lord intended, in mutual support and trust. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. And for the rest of their days on this earth, the public universal friend traveled around preaching. No matter where they got chased out of, where they got banned, no matter who abused them or mocked them, because they believed that the end times were at hand. They knew that the apocalypse was upon us. And I believe that too. I know for a fact that this world is coming to a close, but I've got a bit of a different take on it. Now, I'm not here to pass judgment. I can't speak for you, dear listener. But I know for sure that I am not going to heaven. So I need to prepare myself and my people for the realities and the demands of life on this earth during and after said apocalypse. Yeah. Now, to address this, I've got a little business venture going on the side. And I am welcoming investors, so if you'd like to contact me, I'm sure that my contact information is made available here through the lovely Backyard Hideout. Thanks, y'all. Feel free to approach me if you'd like to put some of your money and some of your future behind this project. But for the time being, just hear me out, will you? Ooh, sweaty. Yeah. Soldiers of fortune are forming their factions, armed to the teeth, and they're itching for action. But going off to shoot someone else tends to end with bullets in yourself. So rather than facing the enemy, we're focused on security. Critics say simple tripwires are ineffective and uninspired, but I say why be picky, use it all. Building booby traps and snares is just my kind of well-prepared. Who knows what merciless attacks they could forestall. I'll be the first one to admit society has gone to shit. That's why I plan ahead for our defense. There's no better place to be than in a bunker. You and me encircled by a razor wire fence. Here in the compound, the one that all found. For your safety and protection from the global insurrection. Yes, the compound, you know the one. The hardest part about the end of the world is pretending we're not having fun. Our guys have thought of everything, let me tell you. Paramilitary raids with AR-15s and grenades are no match for the minefield I installed. For those who make it through, have I got a surprise for you? I put some motion sensor turrets in the walls. You can call it paranoia, but don't say I didn't warn you. When you need a place to hide from the marauders at your door, your best hope for the apocalypse is right here at your fingertips. Just sign up and don't worry anymore. You're in the compound, the one that all found. We're accepting applications to survive the devastation. Yes, the compound, you know the one. The hardest part about the end of the world is pretending we're not having fun. I know you're scared. The solution is to just be well prepared. The end is nigh. But be aware that if you all should somehow die, the terms and conditions still apply. But you're in good hands, I can assure you. We'll dig a moat around the base and fill it with venomous snakes. I hear a viper makes a lovely pet. And if trespassers get inside, the doorknobs are electrified. A stimulation that I'm sure they will regret. We'll dig a tiger pit behind the back entrance and won't omit the jagged wooden stakes to break the fall. That's just the kind of trick we need to guarantee security. It's all here in the commune protocols. Here in the compound, the one that all found. We're a stable institution in the midst of revolution. Yes, the compound, you know the one. The hardest part about the end of the world is pretending we're not having fun. Yeah! Thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to get sensitive with you. Get in those feels. So, It's a lot of fun to think about these strange creatures and the eternal battle between good and evil and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, I believe that we are all just compost in training. And some people find that upsetting. The idea that there is nothing waiting for us afterwards, some grand hereafter. But I think that's wonderful. I think the idea that we just rejoin this planet is fantastic. And think of all the incredible things that come from compost, all the life in that decay. I can imagine no better way to rejoin this earth that created me. And so this song is about that, kind of. This patch of woods doesn't look the same anymore. The oak that filled the canopy lies decomposing on the forest floor. Boring through, the beetles chew, and lignin and cellulose, they fall apart into rich black loam, and you smile and say, there is no life without decay. Tributaries rushing in, it slips between the reeds and the swans fight in a swift silent current around the bend in the riverbank, carving and carrying a silty uncovering of roots like ribs buried in the mud. And you smile and say, everything washes away. And the river run takes the riverbank, rain by rain. It's hollowed out, it collapses in to be hollowed out once again. A sharp beak slices into an earthworm, and half goes down to the early bird's stomach. The other half wriggles away to live to squirm another day. The squirrel buried nuts for the winter, she starved in the spring while the sapling grew. And someday long from now, that oak will fill the canopy's crown, and you smile and say, live or die, it's all the same. And with that smile you turn to leave, I watched your form recede between the trees. But as you wandered on, I heard the echo of your song. And it goes, Thank you. Thank you. All right, I think I've got one more for you. This may not be immediately apparent to you, dear viewer, but it is hotter than hell in here right now. I'm a sweaty boy. And seeing as it is hotter than hell, that seems like an appropriate subject to broach. So my issue with God is that I don't understand his motives. He wants to control your behavior, but it's for your own good. But if you don't follow his rules, he'll punish you, but it's because he loves you. And I mean, that sounds really abusive. It's a gross relationship to be in. And if I heard about that in any other context, I would say, get the fuck out. And so I don't trust that connection. But Satan is a straight shooter. You know exactly what Satan is looking for. Satan is looking for your soul. He wants something that you have, and you can use that to get something that you want. It's all very transparent. And so if I'm going to place my bets with someone, I'm going to go with the guy that I trust. I'm going to go with the guy who makes sense to me. And that is my Dark Lord and Master and yours, the Prince of Lies, Beelzebub, Lucifer, the man of many names. And we are all going to go visit him sooner or later, so you might as well make friends now.
Burning churches was never much my style. I always found it ineffective at achieving my desires. All I want are demon servants. What's so evil about that? Please excuse me while I don my robe and wizard hat. A little salt around the pentagram will keep him in my grasp. Without caution, the wrong demon could turn up to fry my ass. So I mutter Aramaic, I paint sigils on my chest and burn the incense that the devil likes the best. Infernal friends are my only friends now. I know they'll stand by me until the end. Infernal friends are eternal friends. I know they'll stand by me until the end. I've set the pot to bubble and I filled it to the brim with two-headed snakes and foul breeds of swamp amphibians. The cauldron gives off caustic smoke, the room begins to reek, and then a glowing portal opens at my feet. Infernal friends are my only friends now. I know they'll stand by me until the end. Infernal friends are eternal friends. I know they'll stand by me until the end. The greatest trick the devil pulled has no hold over me. I know that he'll appear if I just bleed with Satan as my shepherd. I can bend the world of men to my decree. It's just a fancy bit of conjuring, you see. I've got a binding incantation that'll hold him for a while. The bottom half's a six-armed humanoid and the top's a crocodile. I know he's craving mortal blood, I give a little taste. Next thing you know, I'll rule the whole damn human race. Infernal friends are my only friends now. Infernal friends are my only friends now. Infernal friends are my only friends now. I know they'll stand by me until the end. Infernal friends are eternal friends. I know they'll stand by me until the end, until the end, until the end, until the end, until the end. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlethems. I love you all. Huge shout out to the Backyard Hideout, who are doing just incredible work getting music to people who like music and getting musicians a place to do their thing. There is not nearly enough of this going on, and so I super appreciate them. And I appreciate all of you out there on the internet for watching this, because that's the whole point, isn't it? You can follow me on Instagram at Wounded Animal Band. I'm sure that's going to be linked somewhere, plastered all over this. And I have vague plans to record something. So that'll be out there someday. But for the time being, this is what you get. So I hope you liked it. Y'all have a good one.